21 Pilots, Scaled and Icy, album review, let's chat about it. Hey guys, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning here tonight to chat about the latest from 21 Pilots. Ohio-based duo who, in their early years, has had this real knack of just getting on my nerves in the worst way possible. Their early days, their self-titled debut, and regional at best, were these obnoxious blends of emo and indie pop and semi-conscious rap and just, I don't know, it wasn't for me. Like, I certainly get the appeal, but it's just never been for me. Now, around the time of their Vessel album, they certainly cleaned up their act. I liked a single here and there, but this still was not a sound for me. And you know what? Once again, with Blurryface, I liked a single or two here and there, but still, these two just got on my nerves. Now, I may be in the minority here, but I really enjoyed 2018's Trench quite a bit. The singles like Jumpsuit and My Blood and Chlorine and Levitate are easily some of the band's best. The sheer amount of heart, determination, and swagger on this album honestly really won me over very quickly. It reminded me so much of what I loved about old school classic alternative rock. Now, some of the singles leading up to this album I actually quite enjoyed, but it's 21 Pilots, and I haven't had the best track record with them, so of course I was skeptical going into this album. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. They are, this time around, dealing with a more synth pop and indie pop sound. And while there's a lot of hit and miss on this album, some of it's actually pretty good. I still think Shy Away is a great single, but why does this literally sound like a Phoenix track? Like, it's not a bad thing, but it certainly does. Props to them, though. They take on this sound really well, and it's a really catchy tune. It's bubbly, it's super catchy, and passionately performed. It's one of the best tracks here. I don't have anything bad to say about it. The Outside is a risk that I think turns out really well. This one has like an ice-cold groove to it. It's an odd track that I didn't really know what to make of at first. I don't remember liking it the first time I heard it, but the second and third time, etc. that I did, honestly, I enjoyed it quite a bit. And I know the more hip-hop oriented sounds of 21 Pilots is sort of a hot button issue in music, but I think here they actually pull it off really well. Mostly because they just sound really comfortable doing it here. And you know what? You might hate Saturday. No, you might absolutely detest the straight up electro funk inspired synth pop that they bring to the table on this track. But you know what? I respect this track, and I think it's got a great groove to it. It is absolutely cheesy, ridiculously cheesy. It's really sharp and just a lot of fun. It's a real shame I can't say that about a whole lot of this album. Like, take this album's intro, for instance, Good Day. I mean, if you found yourself liking their early material, the pre-Vessel era, you're going to want to check this out. And you know what? I don't really know what to make of this. This sounds like them doing a Harry Nilsson impression. It's super quaint. It's super cute. Too much so for my liking. I will say it's much better written than the stuff on their early albums, but this just, it's not where I want to hear them. And Choker, I don't know, it's not for me, man. I think this track is just really under par, and I've thought that ever since I first heard this. Like, I don't mind this more synth-pop driven sound. That's fine. They pull it off fine on better tracks on here. But this is just so phoned in. It's so uninteresting. They don't even sound like they buy this. Never Take It, also not for me. Once again, it sounds so awkward. Like, I don't even feel like 21 Pilots buy this. But yet, here we are, and it's not pretty. It slugs along, it's not catchy, it's not fun. Like, what am I supposed to take from this? Mulberry Street sees them return to this super quaint, super light on the ears, practically singer-songwriter element of indie pop. But I don't know if it's just me, but there is no heart and no passion to this. It's just goofy. And then we get Bounce Man, and oh look, it's the worst track here. What the hell is this? And you know what? I don't think that this direction actually would be that bad, but they give nothing for you to stand on with it. This is barely written. It is so cheesy. I wish I could have liked this album more, because guess what? Some of the later tracks here actually are some of the better ones. Formidable is easily the best deep cut here. Just so breezy, so likable, it almost feels like a really sunny dream pop track. It's just so feel good though, and lyrically it's adorable. And then 10 tracks in, 21 Pilots turn it up like a lot of notches and all of a sudden get really heavy out of nowhere. No Chance is easily one of the bulkier tracks here. It's almost dark at times. All around, this has an edge to it. It sounds like something that would have shown up on Trench. It's a little campy in parts, but never to the point where, like, it's too much. I think this works great. And Redecorate as a finale. Where did this even come from? Lyrically, this is the most captivating, albeit absolutely heart-wrenching track here. Once again, this has the emotional flair of the last final tracks on Trench. And you know what? Some of the vocal inflections on this track aren't for me. I think it kind of takes away from it a little bit. But this is the heaviest and easily most memorable track here. As a matter of fact, this track, Redecorate, I kind of felt like this is where I was going to hear most of this album. This is what I was expecting to hear for the majority of this. I'm glad that it did show up. I just wish we heard more of it. So you know what? I wish I enjoyed this album more because the good here is actually pretty darn good. You know, when they focus on writing a tight groove and a super catchy chorus, they come through and really come through with some really sharp hooks that I wouldn't mind hearing some more of. And I don't know who turned up the emotions in later tracks, but I'm glad they showed up. I just wish that this album was much more consistent because when this album is bad, it gets really awkward really fast, almost to the point where like I'm pining for the days of Vessel and Blurry Face, which I didn't even think was possible, but still a lot of good stuff on here. At least a good bulk of it I think you should check out. I'm feeling a strong 6 on this album, but let me know what you guys think down below. If you like the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.